Most High. All praise Yeshua. All praise Jesus. All praise the King. See, can I brighten this up a little bit? That works a little bit. Um, boy. But man, when I tell you this stuff don't make no sense. We got so many people not knowing what's going on, like with nothing, and people aren't paying attention. They're not paying attention to nothing. So gas prices are crazy out here in Washington. It's like $5 a gallon. I don't know how it is like nation, like around the world, around the nation, but I know the prices are not cool. I think diesel is at six. I think 6.30, and people just don't see the stuff that's going on. Like there's so much stuff that they've put out to confuse the actual to confuse the people, just to confuse everybody. Like Americans are so oblivious to so many things. There's let's just not even talk about Trump. Like let's just start there. Don't think about Trump being president. Just cancel that out. Cancel it out. And with Iran, right? Yeah, it's because of Trump. Okay, we know that they are fighting over this strait, right? Over this water canal that controls pretty much everything. Like it controls like a good chunk of the world's like everything. Then we got the Epstein files. People has speculated like years back that 26 was going to be the year that everything gets exposed, and uh, you know, I don't know what that means necessarily, but I mean, I'm starting to see it with the Epstein files. That just seems like a black swan. It's not what people expected. A whole bunch of it was redacted, um, and it is not what we wanted. And even if Americans got that information and they said he offed himself in the sale, which the footage is gone. There's multiple videos of this guy still being around. Like one just came out where he was like walking with some girls, but there's another video that I seen of him at I think it was a Knicks game or a Sixers game or something, but that for sure was him, like 100% with a hat on and some glasses. That for sure was him, and everybody's like geeking out about the files. The What next? What happens after that? It was just a delusion. It was just a smoke screen for everything else that was going to happen, which was the war. People, I don't think people are paying attention to how important this war is, and as much as our military is moving, like we're staging in Japan. Why are we state? Why do we have so many people going out? Because we are at war. It is crazy that people can't see it. Just because our Congress doesn't agree that we're at war, as such, is in the military. They for sure 100% are going to say that we are at war. It's not like rocket science. Like it's not calculus. It's not nothing calculus. It's not nothing, super hybrid. It's simple if you just look at what's going on. Bro, it's there. I'm really at a loss of words with how disappointed I am with just the state of mind of all these sheep. The sheeple, man. They are. It is sad that nobody has the state of mind of being critical thinkers or common sense. Like all that went out the window. What happened? What happened? Like it. I'm truly beginning to think it's technology. There's no figuring it out yourself. There is no hitting your head, and then it brings a false, "Oh, I'm smarter than you," but yet you didn't bleed trying to figure this out. So it's not like you really have the know-how. Yeah, you know how to do it, but you haven't done it. That's the problem that I be having because and that's where wisdom comes from. Yeah, there's different types of wisdom. Like some people can be just told don't touch that, it's hot, and there's other people that touch it and find out it's hot. I'm one of those. I ain't never touched nothing hot, but I'm one of those people. I kind of had to like bump my head a few times, but then get that little hard spot, and yeah, you stop doing it. You know, you learn, and then you can actually tell people, hey man, that's you know the first time is gonna be like, all right, that last time is really gonna hurt, so you should stop doing that. Because it's hard to bounce back from. Um, like they talk about the files, and then like what throws me off, it really pisses me off. In Hawaii, all those kids that went missing, bro, they brushed that under the rug, and it is not addressed. It is not addressed. There is no way them kids would have just burned. They said them kids burned up. No, bro, them kids didn't burn up. And I was watching a few people's channels on YouTube, and then just people just in the world, because at that time I was still living in Portland, and the guy that cleaned carpets, he worked in a, I forgot what it's called, but where they put bodies in the furnace and then they turn them into ash. And I forgot what the temperature is, but pavement melts before our bones melt, and the pavement out there wasn't melted. So that means if the pavement wasn't melted, there would be kids' bones. There was no kids' bones. So that means those kids are gone. Nobody is talking about these dang kids, bro. Everybody wants to talk about the files and who was there. Does it matter? It, are we gonna see? I be needing to watch what I be saying on here because I haven't gotten in trouble on here for a while. But well, that's because I got like a little shadow ban or something because I be talking like this. But if they did things in public like they do in other countries, people wouldn't do this stuff. Like if people lost limbs for doing things, they wouldn't do them. Like I truly believe I believe in that. Like theft, yeah, you should lose like a digit, a finger, thumb. Do it again, lop off a hand, you know. Any form of perv when it comes to women or kids, yeah, y'all should be publicly stoned. Like that sounds rough, but nobody should be taking nothing or abusing power or anything like that. Everybody needs to be on the same playing field. Um, and the more that I talk to people, the more I see that molestation is a very common thing. I was molested as a kid. I just found out somebody else was molested as a kid. Like, not really, not close to me at all, but just having a conversation with somebody. And it's been a lot of people that have been molested. And we're talking men. There's no form of justice. And yeah, those people should be executed because that is a character defect. And yeah, we don't need you guys, we, it's not like you guys change. Somebody can say they changed from that, whatever. I don't believe it, but you know, a predator to me is always going to be a predator. Um, but either way, then they were going to the guns. It was California is just terrible. California is just terrible when it comes to guns. I would not say move to California. Um, I wouldn't even go to a blue state, um, even though I'm in one. But I feel like Washington's slowly turning red. But then again, I don't know because there's a lot of weirdos like in Seattle and like the bigger cities. But everywhere in like every city, like every state, only the big cities be blue, and that's why they're blue. Like in Oregon, it's Portland and Clackamas. Those are like the big blue areas. Further south, you're getting red. East, you're getting red. Everything around the those that area, red. Um, but I know in certain states you couldn't smoke weed and have guns. Which I mean, I guess I get it. I don't know about not having guns because to me that's weird. I think being high, you shouldn't be able to have a gun. I would say that, but that's only because of like drinking. Like if you're drunk, you're not supposed to have a gun. Makes sense. Granted, you can compare the drug. Drinking makes you more angry and agitated, whatever. Weed's supposed to calm you down, whatever. It could also make you in a paranoid state, so you wouldn't need a gun. I don't care about people that smoke. It doesn't bother me. There's, people smoke. But to say you have THC in your system, you can't own a gun, crazy work. It was, I think it's Maine. I think it's Maine or like Delaware or something. They're trying to they're trying to price people out of guns, and I'm trying to think of the law that they just passed. It was something crazy. Basically, you couldn't buy any more guns, and the guns that you have can't be grandfathered in. Basically, that's what it is. So you would have to hand over your guns. That's, I think they said less than 2% of people turned in their guns. Nobody's turning in their guns. As an American, the two people that's on here, if you have guns, do not turn them in. As an American, you should really look at your rights and really think about it. I'm not an attorney or lawyer, none of that, but you should really think about it. I'm just an American. You should really think about what you're doing. And if you don't have one, I suggest you get one because I believe everybody should have one. If you're not a gun person, that's fine. If you're not, that's totally fine. They have really nice air rifles that are crazy. Like The air rifles now. I got a cousin that has a 50 cal air rifle, and it has like a big old like air tank on the back. Bro, you're shooting a 50 out of a dang air gun, and a lot of the air guns are basic. They're basically 22s. Get you an air gun, and then you don't need a background check. You don't need any of these things, but you need to make sure you have enough air. So, just like how firearms you need ammo, get air. Um, well, and the projectiles and the components. Ammo is going to go up too. I've been saying this. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying it for probably 4 or 5 years now. Start buying ammo because it is going to go up crazy. We had that influx of pricing back when Biden got in. Prices were all out of whack. I was in Oregon. We had the 114 law where you couldn't have the gun, like where you had to get down to like 10 rounds. They stopped that. You know, praise the Lord. They stopped that so people could still carry 17, 33s and whatever. You don't carry a 33. Don't carry nothing besides standard extra like 5 or something. Don't. There's no reason to carry anything over 20, 22 rounds. There's no reason for it. But buy ammo because the components in ammo. So I don't have any bullets here, but there's when you look at a bullet, there's the top part, then there's the case, the little brass part. Inside there is gunpowder, which is just a powder, and on the bottom of the shell there's a little round thing. The little round circle is the primer. The primer, we are running out of stuff for the primers, and we're running out of gunpowder. Bullets, I think we're fine on bullets, but the propellant, there are so many rounds going out to Ukraine and Israel and all these other places. They're going to stop making ammo for us. I'm trying to think of what brand it is. It's a blue box, ACC or AAC. That brand, their brand has the Palmetto. They sell a lot of it. They stopped selling to civilians because they have to send so much out, and they ran out of propellant. They ran out of the stuff to make ammo, so it's only going to the military. Please buy ammo. If you're not a gun person, buy it anyway. Buy a box of 9, buy a box of 22. Just to have it. Just because you might not shoot, but when stuff goes to poop, you are going to run somewhere. You're going to get with a group of people, even if it's not your family. If it is your family, if it's not, you're going to be with a group of people at some point. Somebody is going to have a firearm. Somebody's going to. It doesn't need to be used for people. That's what we pray it doesn't. But there are animals you are going to have to hunt. At some point, you're going to have to hunt because we're not going to have food like that. 22s are you can get small boxes, little that high, that long, little small boxes, 50 rounds. Boom! Everybody has a 22. Everybody does, and everybody can shoot them. Um, if you don't have a gun, a 10/22 is a good gun to have. Period. That is an amazing gun. I have one. Mine's from I think 78 or 76. It is an amazing gun. That thing runs. I haven't changed any parts in it. Nope, I lied. I changed the charging handle and all the springs in my carrier. So the yeah, I don't know if you guys know what that is. But either way, it's the main functioning part. uh, get something, man. Because it's gonna come to a point where you're not going to be able to have anything. I keep telling people this, and they're trying to disarm us. They've been trying to do it for a while, but now it's getting more more intense. And then it's I noticed the states are trying to do it by themselves. Like they're just trying to do it state by state. It's not going to be a full nationwide thing because they can't do it. That's why it's only the blue states doing it. But if we are not armed, right? If we're not armed, who will be able to defend us, especially in wartime? If we're at wartime, who, and we don't have any guns, what does that mean? That means not just the enemy, but our own government. Because if it wasn't for like other countries and their news being true, like saying what's really happening, we could really be lost and believe that we're actually at war and we're not at war. Like legit, our news and everything lies so much to us. Like that's why I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube. Granted, people on YouTube be lying, but I don't be taking that for what it is. Now the gun guys, yeah, I tend to listen to them because they're all pretty much saying the same thing, and they all have different walks of life. Like a lot of them are either ex-military. One dude's a lawyer. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You just really have to pay attention to who you're listening to, and yeah, watch out for like super big names because I think everybody's paid at this point, and yeah, I don't know, man. It's get a gun, man. That's why I really be trying to tell people. I was talking to these guys, some vendors that came in and was fixing the window, and we was talking about Iran and all that. And I was like, man, I hope y'all ready. You know what I'm saying? Because this finna get ugly. Yeah, dude was like, oh yeah, I'm good. Blah, blah, blah. And then we was talking about like the guns out here, and the rules in Washington are so different than the rules in Portland, and the import law is what gets people because when you look at import when it comes to Washington, when they say import, you can bring magazines here, like 30 round magazines and stuff like that, but you cannot sell them. They have to be yours. Now, the part that where it says manufacturer, so if I got a P mag and the spring goes out, I don't know if I can put another spring in it and fix it. I don't know about that, but that's not really manufacturing. That's kind of maintaining my own stuff. They leave it vague like that, so you don't know what you can do. Because I didn't even know I could bring my guns up here until I was talking to an FFL, and then I had talked to an attorney, and they were like, yeah, I mean, as long as you're not, you know, being a criminal, which that's why I don't have anything here. Yeah, you can bring it. I would feel better, you know, now that I got my license. I got my license. Praise the Lord. I ain't had my license in 20 years. Boy, I tell you, I started driving at 15, messed it all up. Got started getting tickets, all that. But I got it now though. But now I'll be able to get my concealed weapons permit out here, and like, yeah, I want to buy something out here. The prices out here are crazy too. Like they want 700 for a Glock, and I'm like, bro, I'm not spending those 700 for a Glock. I ain't never did that. I got two Glocks for 650. Nah, bro. And yeah, if you don't know where to buy a gun from, go to a pawn shop. Go to a pawn shop because that's where I got my one of my Glocks. I got a old cop Glock um for 300, and then I bought I bought another one, which was like they probably shot it maybe 100 times. It didn't even have the Glock smile on the barrel or nothing, and that was 350. I can't see myself buying a Glock out here for that much. I'd get a PSA dagger or something, and that's the thing. I gotta find a FFL out here, somebody that's not weird and scared of the laws. Yeah, they really mess. They're really messing with people with the wording, because people don't understand the wording when it comes to their gun laws out here, which I didn't until I started talking to people. And so if I bring one of my guns out here and it has, because they have the 10 magazine rule out here, but if I bring one of my guns out here, my bad. If I bring one of my guns out here and it has the standard issue magazine that's like 17 or 15 or whatever, I can legally carry it because what that's what my gun is. I'm not. I bought it before, and I bought it from another state. If you want to run the numbers and all that and see how long I had it, you can do that. And keep all your receipts for your don't use a credit card when you buy anything gun related. Don't use a credit card because they've been making a registration uh, from anything gun related. It flags your credit card. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of weird stuff. I think the gas prices should be a red flag for people too. Like I don't know. People remember back when we went to war with Bush and them, bro. Gas was crazy. Uh, gold gold is gold is at like a high too. I think it got back up to 2,700 or 4,700. I can't even look right now. I know it's a lot. I know it jumped up from when me and my uh me and my wife started dating. Like we started dating and it was like a month after that. It just shot up like crazy. Silver's high. I can't remember how much that is. But it's not going under 50 no more. Because I honestly I wanted to go under 50. I wanted to get back to the price. People told me it's going to drop. The silver price isn't going to drop. It's too much money in it. Like and all the technology that silver like they need silver for, because this is what happened, right? So silver was at a price that we could buy it, like me and you guys. We could buy silver at some point, and that's when it was under $30. That's when I stopped buying it. I stopped buying it when it hit like 33. I stopped buying it. But I was also trying to, start a family and these things like that. Trying to keep the future wife happy and all that. But um, once once it hit 35 and continued to go up and just never went back down, we got priced out. So all the millionaires and bazillionaires and all of them, they were able to buy silver at whatever price that silver was set at. All they did was buy the silver, melt it down, and put it in their vault. That's all they did with it. Or they just put it in their vault. So we will never see silver at the price that it was because they don't want us to have it. Like they know that eventually silver is gonna be at a crazy at a bro. It's gonna be a crazy number. Like I think silver did hit $100, and it's gonna be more than that. Cause I was telling people years ago too, buy silver. Like if you go on my channel and go far back, I was talking about buying silver and bullets a long like years ago because I knew this was gonna happen. Well, I didn't know it was gonna happen, but something pushed me to buy silver and to not have currency like actual money. It's not it's not how much money you necessarily have, but the physical things that you have. Because well, it's gonna come down to physical things and the knowledge that you have. Because anything that is gonna be in the bank or paper money, if the dollar drops down to nothing, it's gonna be bad. So the dollar is already like dead. Like that's what we're fighting so hard for. Like going all these other countries and stuff like that because our dollar isn't backed by gold. It's backed by oil. Running out of oil, but we're that's why the BRICS nations said we're gonna stop using the dollar and we're gonna make our own money. Africa was on board. Well, chunks of Africa was on board. India, I think India was on board. China was. Russia was. Um, pretty sure Iran was. But it was a whole bunch of different nations, and we didn't want that. We weren't going to allow that. But because their currencies are worth less than ours, we were able to do it. But they would have been able to do it, but because we're at war, because we're because we're forcing their hand. Granted, we've been stopped it, but we're just trying to cut the head off the snake and make it so it's not going to be a thing. Because China is a real issue. I don't think people are taking that for what it is. China really is an issue. Russia's just Russia. Russia gonna do whatever Russia kind of want, but they're not that far off. I mean, I see what Putin is doing for his people. I understand it. I see what Trump's doing for I see what he's doing for us. I see what these people are doing. It's a lot going on. We couldn't have had what's her name win. If she would have won, we would have been conquered. Um, I'm waiting for China to move on Taiwan. I think everybody's waiting on that. Everybody's paying attention because as soon as they move on Taiwan, that's when the war is really gonna like. It's gonna be just a full out. That's where the draft will come in. It's not gonna come with Iran. No, this is that's not. No, it's gonna be with China, and it's not gonna be necessarily like on the ground because we see how Russia's going. Like we see how all that is going, bro. China has all the drones, bro. And this is the thing too, with that balloon that went over the United States, we couldn't do nothing with it. We couldn't do anything with it. It was just floating. We couldn't shoot it. We couldn't do nothing. It was too high. So don't listen to anybody when they're talking about, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. We wanted to see what was going to happen. We didn't want it to fall on a city. No, that wasn't the case. It was too high. We couldn't shoot it. It's hard for people to believe that, but it is true. I watched a video on this guy. that made those balloons back in the 80s. He made these balloons in the 80s. And he said by the time he would let it go out in the ocean, by the time they seen it on the land, it was too late. It was gone. So how big they said this balloon was, if China sent out 10 balloons, right? And they seen this thing in Alaska. If they sent out 10 balloons and just let them go and continue to let them go, they're just going all over the United States. And they just opened up and had a whole bunch of drones in them, and they started hitting major major things like um, our transformers and stuff like that, because that's what the first run was. That was to see where everything was, and we already have Chinese sleeper cells here. Like, everybody that needed to come in are already here. They're already here. That's it. They're already here. So they can let the balloons go with all the drones, knock out our power. Once they knock out our power, boy, I don't think people understand. Just just us alone, we're gonna kill each other. We've never had to do anything without power. Most of us aren't built for it. They're not. I would say maybe 10% of Americans have been camping. 10%. And that, I don't even believe it's 10%. I'm a camper. I love to go camping. It's amazing. Oh, it's beautiful. You get to go play in the water and make hot dogs and stuff like that. But you ain't gonna be able to make hot dogs. You're gonna be catching squirrels and fish if you can fish. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, folks aren't thinking for the long haul. Like, if you ain't got a tent, you should just buy a tent, just because it ain't gotta be a huge tent, but just something. They always got tents for sale at Big Five, man, for like 40, $50. Get you a tent, get you, a fire starter. Get If you had to leave your house right now, like if you just had to grab whatever you had to grab and like just get foot in it, what would you grab? Like, that's the thing. It's like, what would you grab? I would say a gun, but I ain't got no gun. Yeah, but I mean, if I was in Portland, oh yeah, I'm grabbing the hammer. Yeah, I don't even know if I, yeah. And that's the thing too. I got a little collection. I got a little collection of guns, and the way I bought my guns were, I wanted everybody in my group to possibly have a gun. If you were able to shoot, or you were able to have the safety, like be able to do it correctly, yes, you need a firearm. If anybody can, if anybody can shoot, you need to have a gun, and that's how I planned it. And that's like, I got a hunting rifle. Never been hunting, but I got a 308. Why? Because I might have to shoot a deer. I might have to shoot something big, something bigger than an AR. Granted, you can't knock down deer with ARs, but that's not something I want to do. I want to get one shot and track that quarter mile for that deer. That's what I want. And a 308 is a pretty good caliber, and most people have a 308, and most city people will have a AR-10, which I would be able to use their ammo. I also try to get firearms that are in common use. So if one of my parts broke and I found another one that's like broke, I could strip it and make a Frankenstein. That's very important to me. Uh, that should be important to you too. A lot of people don't be thinking about it, but I've had years of thinking about these things, and it's just weird how nobody pays attention to anything. And then like the stuff people argue about is very strange. Like this lady was talking about talk about the governor earlier and was talking about the Mayflower, and she was indigenous, but she just looked like a white lady. But I didn't see what I didn't see no native nowhere. And then me and the other guy that was talking to her, the other dude said, what tribe are you from?" And she couldn't say what tribe she's from. You can't just sit here and holler out people are racist and stuff like that. There's no bro. There's no racism no more, man. That's out, bro. There's rich and poor. There's there's us and there's them. It's not a race thing. It's a wealth thing. Um, yeah, I'm trying to be wealthy, man. Like I'm trying to leave my grandkids like some stuff. But yeah, I mean, folks gotta folks gotta really think more outside of the box and like what aren't you seeing? Because there's a lot of people that are just not paying attention and just watching the news and seeing the stuff that's going on. You cannot believe what you're seeing, and there's principalities and things that we don't understand. Not Everything is not real. Like I'm not one of those people talking about the Matrix. The Bible talks about everything being in the spirit. Talks about it nonstop. Well, not nonstop, but enough to where you understand it. Everything is in the spirit. So you got all this stuff going on and all these weird agreements, and you're not catching it because you're not in tune with the Lord. You got to get your discernment. You got to pay attention to the stuff that's hidden, like because nothing is going to be where we can just see it and understand it. And you got all these people saying all these different things on TV. Why would they be telling you all this stuff on TV and they never told us the truth ever? They've never told us the truth, so why would you believe anything that's on TV and everything's a lie? Like it's crazy. Like I'm not. Uh, when was the last school incident? Like I don't. That's how much I don't pay attention. When was the last school incident? You got all these people that are confused, right? They got that's what I need to look into too. I feel like in Washington that kids that want to transition don't have to notify their parents. I feel like they did the same thing as California, and you have all these trans kids, right? What what happens to them? Like what's gonna happen? Like when a draft comes, you got all these kids transitioning. What's gonna happen when the draft comes? What happens? And this is an honest question because I don't think the draft is gonna come just for the fact of we have all these illegal people, all these illegal people here, and you're gonna draft all the Americans, and then we're not gonna have anybody to defend home. You got all these people on drugs. and we're just leaving our women and children here unprotected with people that are older than the draft. Nah, bro, that doesn't even make sense to draft the younger generation of men, and there's not gonna be anybody to protect the home front. That doesn't make any sense to me. And then you have all the trans people. Are they gonna be mentally unfit to go to war, or like how does that work? I've been like kind of pondering on that for a couple of days, um, because I would think if if it's yeah, I can't go into that. I'm gonna get in trouble on here. Uh, I don't know. I think it's strange because I mean if it's a man transitioning into a woman, well, looks like you're going to war in a dress. You're going to war. Uh, I would see a woman transitioning into a man. I would say no, just for the fact of you're a woman. Like that's always been something that's been kind of hard for me with women going to war because women getting captured is not like a man getting captured. A woman is a woman, you know. And what happens when you get captured? You become a slave. That's why I was talking to the crazy lady on the bus. She was talking about the the white man on the Mayflower came and da 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 da. And I was like, man, you listen to history that was created by whoever it was. And I was like, I don't think black people came from Africa. Probably once upon a time, but I don't believe that they came from a boat from Africa by some white people and they said go pick that cotton. I don't believe that. I believe that Africans that came here a long time ago and landed on the East Coast, and they were just on the East Coast. And once the white people came, the black people were already there with popping it with the natives, and where they probably had a line. Don't cross this line. This is ours. That's yours. Y'all pop it over there. We're gonna be over here. But once the white people came, they came and conquered them. I mean, the black Americans. They came and conquered them, or the Moors, or whatever name you want to use. They got conquered. They turned into slaves. That's what happens in war. Now, what happens to the women? We know what happens to the women. That's why I believe women should go to war, but that's just me. Um, yeah, she was tripping, talking about yeah, they put all the natives into reservations and blah blah blah, and they talk about all these. I was talking about this earlier. They talk about all the native tribes and all this. They talking about there was hundreds of millions of them and all this. When you really think about it, yes, there was a bunch of tribes, but they fought each other, right? They're not just living. There were certain tribes that didn't fight. There were, but most of these native tribes they fought each other a lot. So the amount of men were not on the millions like what they were talking about. It no, and anybody that wins or conquers whatever they can write whatever in history. Yeah, we came, killed 3 million, blah 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 blah, and then we brought some slaves over from Africa that we trade for some cinnamon. Sure, that sounds good, but to me that doesn't make sense. And I mean, once they took over, You gotta think about it, bro. Them boats. I'm talking about the Mayflower and all these other boats. You may have maybe 400 guys on there, maybe. Okay, you got five boats, 400 people. You're telling me that you land in the United States. There's millions upon millions of natives, and y'all got just muskets that y'all have to load. It takes 30 seconds to load a musket if you're good. So probably a minute, and y'all just demolished all these natives. I no, I don't believe that. 2,000, 2,000 Englishmen are not finna kill that many natives. It's not going down. So the number of men had to have been low because of them fighting each other, and they had probably with the aggressive ones, they probably were really nice to the aggressive ones. And again, to get the black slaves or all the black people on the East Coast, they probably went to a tribe and was like, "Hey, you help us conquer them, we'll make them your slaves," and they just continue to do that, and just ended up making one big army and then enslaving all of them. That's that's simple war tactics. I mean, yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna go over here rambling.